So welcome to Primal Mvmnt Fitness Nutrition YouTube channel. This is the first episode, hopefully of many, and I'm going to introduce Jamie really shortly. But today's topic is all about what avatar are you and how this relates to our Primal Movement programming, which this is where Jamie specializes in. So I'm going to hand you over to Jamie. He's going to give you just a short introduction.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm the head coach for the programming. So I plan all of our workouts and how they're going to best tailor it to you.
Cool. So look, Jamie, we decided to do this video to really help our members understand what the new avatars and what we mean by an avatar and how that impacts our programming so people can actually get to their results essentially faster, because that's what we're heavily focused on. So I think the best place for us to start is, what are those three avatars and what's different to the current avatars that we've been using in our programming?
So what we used to have was weight loss, general fitness, and increased strength. And they didn't work because they weren't encompassing enough for all of our clients, especially. So we've now changed them from those ones to health, fitness, and performance.
Okay, cool. Now, even at first, when you told me this, I had to get my head around it. So hence why we're making this video. And I think it will make it a little bit clearer about why we've chosen these avatars and what do we mean by each one. So I think let's just naturally walk through each avatar so people get a really good understanding of perhaps where they sit. So what would a health-focused client be?
A health-focused client is someone that wants to increase their lifespan in general. That's the main focus of this avatar. So someone that hasn't really exercised much before, has one or two potential injuries or body issues that they need to kind of resolve, whether that's high body fat, whether that's high cholesterol, any hypertension, for example, could all classify into this category. Someone that wants to get a longer life. That is what a health category or the health genre is. So it might be losing weight, but it might not be. It might be just getting healthier, not being sick anymore.
It makes a lot of sense. I suppose another way of saying that is avoiding just chronic illness and disease, isn't it? Is what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
Okay. What would a fitness avatar focused client look like?
So I like this use of words, is to improve their health span. So how long you are healthy for, mentally as well as physically. So not just the physical aspects of it, having no injuries, lower body fat, being generally healthier and that sort of thing, not having high blood pressure, for example, but actually having a healthy balance of lifestyle and mental health and fitness.
Okay, cool. Now I'm going to throw this one right back at you, because I know this would resonate with a lot of members, and even I've ticked these boxes at some point in recent health span, if you like. Yeah. If I'm super stressed or I've got a lack of sleep, but I'm consistent in my training, where would you kind of guide me to? Am I more health focused now, or am I fitness?
Yeah, so it would definitely be, you would start tailing yourself back just a little bit, just to try and get back those good habits. So whether that's getting better sleep, or lowering your stress levels with good health practices, hence why there's a difference between the two. So if you've got high stress, adding some meditation, not just the exercise, or exercising more regularly to help lower that stress, is going to be the way to kind of bring yourself back down. But it might only take a week, 2 weeks, a month, and then you might jump back up.
Cool. So the overarching avatar can still exist. You still may be fitness, but we might recognize that actually we really need to focus on some of those health parameters to kind of make sure that we're on the right path and right journey, and we're still heading to the right goal.
Yeah.
Okay, which leads us nicely to the last one, which is, what would a performance-focused client look like?
So a good way to describe this is, you want to get better at a sport, for example. So if you want to get better at jumping for your sport, then this is a good one to be in. But it's someone who's been exercising regularly for about a year plus is a good baseline for this. Low body fat percentage, no injuries currently, and really trying to strive to be better at something specific. That's the main goal there. It doesn't have to be like basketball, but it has to be some form of, I want to be better.
There needs to be an outcome, is what we're saying, isn't there?
Yeah.
Something really specific to train for.
Yeah.
I think a really good kind of Model for this is probably some of our members that have done the High Rocks event, which is a combination of functional fitness and endurance all wrapped up into one. And they had a short period of essentially training and preparing for that event for an outcome, be that just to complete it, or if they had a personal goal to complete it in a specific time. Okay, definitely. Cool. So I think we've given people a rough idea of kind of what each avatar is. Let's dive a little bit deeper into how we can help our clients identify where they really sit, because some people may be a little bit confused and actually feel that they're more than just one avatar. They may be health and fitness. How would we assess that to help guide them?
Good question. So in terms of the basic numbers, your body fat is a key one, but in terms of your weight and age, that will vary in terms of percentage. Little to minimal exercise is where that baseline is. So if you haven't done much before, then you're going to go straight into health. Anyone under 6 months is probably going to be in this category. The other lining factor, which is where you might jump up and down quite quickly, is an injury. If you've got an injury in your knee, you're going to go back to health because you want to get rid of that injury so then we can bring yourself back up to fitness and potentially performance if that's where your goal is. So that's the big changer that can happen quickly if you have been exercising regularly.
And it shouldn't still shift the long-term goal, should it? But we need to understand that there are milestones to getting to where we need to be. And hey, look, I've been injured in the last 6 months, and some of my personal goals for my health and fitness have been more performance orientated. But actually, I would agree, at periods, I've had to put my ego to the side and go, actually, I'm health focused right now. I need to spend 4 weeks with the coach focusing on that criteria, and then eventually I can come back to being more performance orientated or fitness orientated. Okay, cool. I think we can nicely lead into like, where's the opportunity for us to talk with members one-on-one to figure out, okay, which avatar are they? And how are we going to measure their progression moving forwards?
Great one. So if you've been a member for a while, then obviously you might have had one, but a goal review or athlete check-in is a perfect opportunity to do an assessment, have a discussion with your coach to find out where you think you are, where we think you might be, and trying to find a balance between the two and progress you towards where you want to potentially be as well. We happen every 3 months once you've been a member for a period of time. So it's a great opportunity to have that chat then.
Cool. And I think this is a really good, unique point. You know, as we move through to the winter period, shorter and darker days, staying focused on our health and fitness is paramount. So if you haven't had your goal review booked in yet, this is a message to say, go and get it booked in. We know that most are, to be fair. Come and speak with myself, Kate, or Jamie, and we're here to help. We want to make sure that it's actually working. We buy into all of your health and fitness goals. Okay. Cool. Well, look, I think the added thing to add to this conversation, which kind of be a little bit more free flowing, is partly why some of these changes have occurred. And hopefully I can kind of add some value to this as you like. And that is that some of my experience in the background is a CrossFit coach. So we practice functional movements with Primal Mvmnt's take on that type of programming and training. Personalized high accountability coaching. But what I mean by this is, and the reason I'm bringing up my experience from the background, when Jamie came to me and said, I really feel like our avatars need changing, these are the reasons why. We just had a deep discussion about how can we help our members more, and how can we take a step closer to our vision and mission, which is reducing illness and disease in 8,000 people locally. So Jamie's done a really good job, I think, of giving us a new focus, a fresh outlook on actually how can we measure our own health and fitness stepping forwards. Now, this actually really closely aligns with what's the word I'm looking for, model for health, which comes from Greg Glassman, who's the founder of CrossFit, which I've got a lot of experience in. And the reason I bring this up is it actually aligns very closely with our avatars, and it's nice and easy to understand. Now, whatever way we look at it, when someone comes to us or they want to improve their health or fitness, both of those words normally come up, don't they, Jamie, when we have a discussion? I want to be healthier, I want to be fitter. But we very much see that health and fitness are the exact same thing. And what do we mean by that? Greg Glassman talks about a continuum as sickness, wellness, and fitness. And if we take an example of maybe a more sedentary person that's been injured in the past or doesn't exercise quite as often as they ideally should for their aspirations, health and fitness wise, when we look at parameters such as resting heart rate, when we look at parameters as what their blood pressure is, what their body fat is, what their muscle mass is, these are pretty common when we think about health. But I want us to think about the other side of the spectrum that's sometimes not related with health, and that might be your ability to pick something up off the floor, your ability to squat in and out of a chair without assisting yourself off the arm of the chair or holding onto a wall. So what we're trying to say is the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum, when we look at parameters to try and help people improve, is we want to actually consider more than just the standard health parameters we've always associated with, and actually consider that strength, fitness, recovery, balance, agility, speed, accuracy are also important to our overall health.
Yeah.
And this is something that we're going to start talking about a little bit more, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's the biggest thing that I think was different is the old names. I would have classed myself in a different category completely to where I would now classify myself as. So talking about personal experience, I'm injured currently. So I've gone straight back to health in terms of my avatar, whereas I would have easily put myself in the increased strength, which is now performance, which I definitely am not. So it's trying to find that and have that broad approach so that we're not pinholing ourselves into one corner. It's I want to improve my health. I want to live longer. That's why I go to the gym.
I also think that it's a bit of a reality check at sometimes.
Yeah.
We talk about as a community, like leave your ego at the door, come in, be positive, be super supportive. But in reality, for some of our clients, I think it's going to be, a real assessment of where we really sit. And I think that's cool because there's nothing better than being challenged about where you're currently at. And then now we can figure out what's the way forward. So that's the whole purpose of these avatars. And what we're going to now start seeing, Jamie, and you can probably touch on this a little bit more, is how we're briefing that in our small group personal training sessions, our one-to-one personal training sessions, so people can maximize their results and actually get the most out of the training. So do you want to just touch very briefly on that? Because I'm sure our members will see it as they're attending.
Yeah, massively. So the biggest thing that we introduced probably 3-4 months ago now was our levels of intensity for a workout, level 2 to 5. And basically the way we kind of broken that down and explained that is heart rate percentages is basically where those come from, or what we call RPE, which is rate of perceived exertion, which is a scale of 1 to 10. And linking those 2 or 3 things together to give you a perspective on what this workout should feel like and what you should be trying to make it feel like as well. So with a health client, you're pretty much going to be around that level 2 to level 4 bracket. We're not going to try and push you to that level 5 stage because we're trying to get you healthier and fitter, so you can get into that fitness stage of things instead of being with that little niggle. So if you try to go for level 5 and there's box jumps, for example, and you try to do that and you injure yourself because you twinge that muscle again, then that's not going to help. So we're going to tailor it back and lower the intensity a little bit to make it accessible for you so that you can get back to that next level of that continuum.
I think that's a really, really good example. And even I have to admit that there's been occasions within, a session, because I love the small group atmosphere, where you're right. I think for someone that now understands, they probably sit more on the health category, understanding that the intent of that workout is not to put you on your ass and be breathing hard and your heart rate feel like it is absolute maximum, even though some days we probably chase that as individuals. The reason behind that is to keep you injury free, to progress you slowly but surely in the right direction, and ensure that we don't take 1 step forward and 3 steps back, and instead it's 2 steps forward, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. That's the biggest difference between the two. I think people underestimate how important that level 2 category is, especially. if you look at certain fitness individuals in the professional space, they say it's probably their biggest and most important category to work in, because if you can get that base level, then you can work harder on the other levels just by being better at that base. Just think of a pyramid.
And do you know what? This probably gives us fuel for our next video. Probably diving as a reminder back into levels of heart rate, what rated perceived exertion is, and how people can really understand that to maximize their training. Because it's right. Look, we all want to come in, de-stress, work hard, and feel like we've got a damn good workout. And there'll be workouts that do that, but not every one should be high intensity. We really do focus on constantly varied workouts at varying intensities, not always high. So absolutely. Okay, cool. Well, look, Jamie, I think we could probably wrap up things there. I don't think there's anything else we need to add, unless you've got anything else to say.
No, just but those athlete check-ins in. Ask us any questions in the comments, because I'll try and get back to you, or Adam will. So
Jamie's making a good point, guys. Look, this is our first proper video. You never know, it might lead to some sort of series or a podcast in the future. We'll slowly but surely just read your comments and come back. If you actually have any questions, or you got any questions about this podcast, or you disagree with anything we've said, look, hey, we've got some experience, but you might have something different. We want to hear it, and then we'll talk about it, and that might fuel our next episode. So if you liked what we've done, we'd love for you to actually hit the like button, especially if you're on YouTube. Press subscribe, because it's only going to make us want to do it more, and we want to help you guys get even closer towards your goals. So from myself and Jamie, thank you very much for joining us, and
thank you.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Cheers, Adam.
Bye.